Going on? Get in here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know I've been missing a few days, but just doing stuff with the fam. Stuff with the fam. Come on in here, y'all. Okay. And how everybody doing this Friday? Oh, how everybody doing this Friday? Hey, Nick. Hey, India. My girls, what's going on? Hey, T-Pal. I know you driving home, Nick. I thought about you when I set the time, but I don't know when the house gonna get full, so I said, let me go on and get started now. What's going on, y'all? I ain't forgot to call you, India. Just I've been busy. I think, yeah, I've been busy. I'll tell you all about it. Because I need to get that information. But anyway, hey, y'all. We got to talk about all this racism. I thought about it today. I said it's a damn shame that it's more racism going on than any other thing. More than celebrity gossip, hot tea, anything. It's racist. I can't even get the word out. Racist-ish is going on. That's what's going on. More so than anything else in the Americas, right? We're going to start with, well, let's see. Both of them is pretty bad, but I want to talk about the Wright brothers. Is it Wright Brothers Construction, right? Wright Brothers Construction, where the black man was delivered. He went to it's a dump site, right? Wright Brothers Construction, it's a dump site. And the black man went there to dump, evidently, right? Or pick up. I don't know what he went to do, but he was working his job. That's what he was doing. And angry white men came aggressively towards him and talking crazy to him, right? And I didn't see the video. I was looking for it. But they had overturned his truck or somebody's truck or something, right? I didn't see that part. But what I did see was enough for me, right? The fact that they was talking to him looked like they was foaming at the mouth, right? They were so angry, like pit bulls or Doberman pinchers or something, right? And they were telling him to get away and calling him names and all this stuff, right? And I'm still trying to figure out, why were they so angry? The man was coming to do his job. Was it the fact that he was a black man and they ain't never seen the black man before? Down there in Clayton. Was it Clayton? What was it? North Carolina? Anyway, the town that he was in was a sundown town. Now, let me tell you something. Until just recently, I didn't even know they still had sundown towns, right? Now, they're going to probably say, no, it's not, but it is. Yeah, you ain't hear about that? You got to be on TikTok. TikTok will let you know everything about everybody, right? So the man went to Wright Brothers Construction to handle his business that his job told him to get. Now, y'all know, maybe y'all don't know, that there are truckers that are missing. There's one black man, I want to say his name is Darnell, that is missing in particular, right? He talked to his wife. They got a video of him, I think, leaving out of Walmart, and then he goes dark. This is a problem, right? I know I have a lot of friends that are truckers, right? Black men. So when they go through these towns, let me tell y'all something. This is why I don't go through. I went through West Virginia once. Me and my son, we was going to Charlotte, going back to Charlotte. We had to go to Ohio to handle some business, and we went through West Virginia. I went through West Virginia two, 3 times, right? Coming from Ohio to there. I don't go that way anymore. If I have to go that way, I go through Tennessee. I go around in a long way through through Cincinnati and then Tennessee. I don't go straight from Cleveland. Well, I ain't been to Cleveland in a while, but I don't go straight from Cleveland, because when you go straight from Cleveland, if you don't go to Cincinnati, you have to go through West Virginia. That's the next state. It's right next door, right? I don't do that. I don't like the feeling of that. Hey, T, I don't like the feeling of that. Like, some things you can just feel, right? And I remember one time my GPS kept circling around. I kept circling around the same little area, right? Well, I watched a girl yesterday. She's a female trucker, black girl. And she said, when I know this to be true, because the towers don't always work right here where I'm at, is that She was showing this road in the daytime that was trees on both sides, which is dangerous at night because you can't see nothing. There's no street lights. Folks that and I'm trying to figure out the reason why they ain't got no lights down in the south in certain areas because they want it to be dangerous. I don't understand how you can drive around and there's no lights. I still don't have that, right? So anyway, she showed the street and she said, this is just imagine what it looks like at night. Now, right where I'm at, if you can't even go down the street, I can't. I don't like to drive at night here. It's just too dark. Why is it so dark? Where's the street lights? I'm from the big city where you got lights, camera, action, right? So these truck drivers are coming up missing. Now, these guys was very aggressive. They were very aggressive. Hey, Bridget. They were very aggressive, right? And I don't know why. I want to know why. Why were they aggressive when they know that man was coming to do his job, right? And then what really frightened me was the third guy said, two big Billy Bobs came up. And the third guy, looked like he was a little older gentleman, said, go away, get in your truck now and close the door before something bad happens. What the fuck was the something bad gonna happen? And I'm here doing my job. What were they doing at that dump they didn't want him to see? Is it some more bodies over there? Is it some gold over there? What was over there? Why was they so angry with him? I still need answers to that. And then when I looked on, so I went to Facebook, went to their page on Facebook, and they got the nerve to say that they are a Christian company. A Christian company. And they pray. They were showing everybody pray. They pray before they start their day. Now, I'm tired of white folks doing shit in the name of Christianity or religion or whatever you want to call it, right? I don't believe that. That climate came from somewhere. That's the energy and that's the climate of where you all work. We hate black people. There's no way that y'all praying and holding hands and kumbaya every day and that type of energy came from your employees. Yeah, I'm still holding it down, Bridget. I'm still holding it down. There's no way that that's what's going on like that. There's no way, right? And they had the nerve to say, the higher ups, that they're going to investigate. Now, ain't no need to investigate. There was Billy Bob, Jimmy Jam, Johnny John, all right there on the camera. You can see that. You can see that, right? They antagonized the man, the trucker, and said they lost their phone and had the nerve to go through his, because he's a different kind of black man. He's a different kind of black man. But they went through his truck to look for their phone. Right? Yeah, they're going to burn in hell. But they had to look through his truck. He was complacent and compliant with all of that. Right? And I know he was saving his life. But for me, when they first started growling at me and I got up in my truck, I just pulled off and called dispatch or my job or whoever I need to call me like, I can't do no business here. I wouldn't even encountered that long with them people. I would not have, right? The man was talking to him, and they was telling him they was closing his door, his truck door, and slammed the door on his dog. You could hear the dog, right? Like, why are these white folks so angry with us? I do not understand. I would like for all of us, black folks, to go somewhere else. I would. If that was possible, I would like that. They don't want you here. They're going to make it rough for you. So I would like that. I would like that. But right now, we're here. We're here. We ain't going nowhere, right? And in a minute, so like they have these underground communities and all that. Y'all see about the white folks? They got their own community. Like we want to be over there anyway. We have underground communities too. I follow these guys. I'm trying to think of what the name of them. They might be something Judah. I don't know what they is. But they some sort of like a militia black man's thing, right? Hey, Lisa Marie. So, y'all ain't the only ones with underground people, right? But what I don't understand is why so much of the hatred? I don't understand that. I just don't understand that, right? If I don't like somebody, I just don't fool with them. I don't go over there where they at, and I don't fool with them. And if I have to go over there where they at, I act like I don't see them. That's a simple thing. It's a simple thing, right? Them men look like they was they look like rabid dogs. Look like they was foaming at the mouth, like they went crazy, right? The one big guy, Billy Bob, was so angry. He was so angry. Looked like he would have bit the man, right? I'm always okay. Thank you. How are you, cool guy? I'm always okay. Maybe I ain't okay though, because I'm tired of this racist bullshit. So maybe I ain't okay. I'm okay, but I ain't okay, right? So the way they were, um, the way they were verbally attacking this man made no sense. When all he was trying to do was do his job. Like I said, I wouldn't encounter it that long. Once they were saying all crazy talk and walking all aggressively, I just closed my door and pulled off and called the job and said, hey, you can't do no business here. Now, what I want to understand is, because white folks know them towns. They know them sundown towns. Quit sending our people through there. Quit sending our people through there, because there's a lot of truckers that's missing y'all. Quite a few, in case y'all didn't know, right? It's this one I've been following. I think his name is Darnell. They ain't found him yet. They last saw him coming out of Walmart's, right? And I can't remember where he was at. I want to say he was in North Carolina, too. For the crazies? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, what? Now, listen here, y'all. This is Jack Squad, right? We ain't tolerating no trolling and foolishness. We just not. This shit is serious, and we talking about it. If you don't like what I'm talking about, go head on. Please, go head on, right? This is what I'm saying. White folks, you ain't nobody bothering y'all. Leave us the fuck alone, period, right? We talking about what we talking about. Go away. Go away with that bullshit. Really go away. Anyway, that just threw me off. Like, I don't like all that. Like, I've been watching this stuff on TikTok, and it has, I'm full with it, right? And it makes no sense to me. And it's taking me back to a time I don't want to be. When I was a little girl, right? When I was growing up in Cleveland. Cleveland is a northern city, northern state, right? But there was a time, where there was the area we lived in, you couldn't go this way and you couldn't go that way. It was a small area where we could be, right? And if you cross those lines, then they would get to calling you the N-word and all that, spitting out at you and all that kind of stuff, right? This ain't been that far away. This is why I tell people, especially people under 40, we ain't that far removed from this shit. As y'all can see, we back in it. We back in it. We back in it, right? I've been saying this for years. We're only a generation or two removed from that bull, right? So all this freedom that everybody think they got, and just because they letting you make money, don't mean that we free, right? As Diddy. So I saw that and watched that, and I watched it over and over again. So I can't understand why they say that he stole a phone. Then they overturned his truck. Like, let me tell you what I hope. Wright Brothers, I hope he sues Wright Brothers. I hope he sues the bank that owns them, a TD Bank or some two bank company. It's a company that owns them. I hope that he sues the state of North Carolina. I don't even know if that's possible. And I hope his job compensates him some sort of way because now he's going to have PTSD because I got it for him. Right? I got it for him. In Arkansas, 160 acres, it's called Return to the Land. Yeah. No Jews, gay, black, and people who are Islamic. They want traditional white people. I'm happy for y'all. I am happy for y'all. But I saw a video and the girl made a lot of sense. A black girl made. She said, well, since y'all want to be just traditional white folks, don't take any of the things that we have invented over there with you. Be traditional. Right? And she got to naming off the stuff. It's on TikTok. She got to naming off the stuff that we've contributed to that if we didn't make it, they wouldn't have. Right? The person in the White House has created an atmosphere of hate. That's demonic. That's the devil. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care who you voted for. That is demonic, right? Now you've created ever since they went down to the Capitol and did what they did, this has opened the door for white racist people to keep going with their racist behavior. That's what it's opened the door for, racist behavior, right? Now somebody gonna get hurt. So a lot of somebody's gonna get hurt, right? Because I hope they know that this is not 1955. This is 2025, and people have been living their lives the way they live it, and y'all ain't gonna interrupt that, right? I saw another video. I know y'all done saw this one, where the young man was doing his job again down there in Orlando, Florida, right? He was the project manager. He was knocking on the customers' doors to let them know about the upgrades to their utility situation. He wasn't selling nothing. He wasn't buying nothing. He was doing his job, what the folks sent him out there to do. He go to, what's the people name house? Let me see, hold on. He went to their house. Oh, I got it. It's on my thing. I can't see it now. He went to their house, right? Couple, white couple. Another man was so angry. When I see these people, they're so violently angry. Like it ain't no man going away from here now. It's like you slobbing at the mouth like a rabid dog, right? Like you just, your eyes gonna bug out, your sweat popping, slob coming out your mouth. What is it about us that makes them so angry at the sight of us? At the sight of us, right? I know our skin look good, but look at it. The skin look good. But why does that make you so angry, right? Him and his wife came out there, right? And called the man all the N-word. And what got me the most was when he said, you come back over here again, I'm going to hang you. Now, mind you, and I'll be trying to tell my son this, he's 32, he don't understand. He's like, hey, what they going to do to me? Look at me, I'm Big Joe, da-da-da-da-da. But they can. If you get to thinking like that, this is a sundown town that we in. That's what they said. Right down the street there, right? Yeah, the white folks friendly. They smile and wave and hold the door for you. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Anyway, they said they would hang him. They would hang him if he came back. Now, I know that's not a crime. I don't believe that's a crime. But isn't that sort of in the hate crime realm just for you saying that? Is that a crime? If you say it, I don't know. Right? Because it's on record. The man recorded. He had a lot of calm and peace to him while he recorded these people following him. And then he went to the next house and they said, don't go over there. He don't want it either. Without even knowing what the man was there for and what he wanted. I'm sick of these white folks. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm sick of these white folks. I hope none of that ever comes to me. I am sick of these white folks. I have been seeing this shit since I was a kid, right? And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm very tired of it. And now let me tell you something. They doxed them people. That couple, they doxed them, right? Put their address out there. I Googled the address because I'm nosy and I just want to see how they living, right? Look like a nice street. I Googled. Do y'all know when I put it in Google Maps, them people's picture came up? Them people's picture came up. That picture I put on my video, that's the picture that came up of them hollering at that man. The picture came up. I said, everybody has looked them up. Then just now, I went on TikTok and somebody went to their house, I guess last night. See, they didn't put your business out there, right? Now you got to keep your head on a swivel. Because there's somebody that's just as diabolical as you that's not going to forget what you did to that black man. That's all I'm saying. It was somebody went to their house. It was like, yeah, this their house, y'all. It was at night. And I didn't finish watching it all because I was getting ready for this. But they said, yeah, this their house, y'all. And I guess he was asking the neighbor how they act or who they is and what they do and so on and so forth, right? I don't think that white folks understand that we not our grandparents. And things ain't going to go quite the way that they think it's going to go. We're not just going to sit there and let you do whatever to us. Now, had the guy not been on his job, had the guy ran into Pookie or Ray Ray, that wouldn't have went like that. You know, just like that woman went on them people's porch. They was kids. I think they got arrested. Went on her and her husband was up on them people's porch, them kids, and the kid knocked her out. And her husband had to pick up off the floor, right? We not them people, y'all. Spread the word. White folks spread the word. Ring the alarm. Sound the bells. We not them people. We not them people. Now, some people are going to be a little passive because they want to keep their job. Now, that guy in Florida, he got to go GoFundMe because he's got PTSD, as he should have. And I'm sure that the truck driver do too, but he just going to keep on driving his truck. Like, y'all, what y'all doing? And, you know, like I said, I just watched last weekend the Katrina catastrophe, and those people did not have to suffer the way they did. They suffered because of racism. The FEMA guy didn't do his job. He sat in Baton Rouge and sat behind the desk. The governor, she did not do her job. The president, which was Bush, did not do his job. They let them people suffer because of racism. And then when it came time to pay them people for their houses, they gave them little or nothing. All because of racism. All because of the color of your skin. That is the most asinine shit ever. Right? I don't care nothing about white folks. I don't care nothing about nobody. I don't care. You ain't bother me. I don't care nothing about you. I definitely don't hate you. That's a lot to carry. That's a lot to carry. And the way that white man was coming out of there, out of his house, and the way that white man was coming through that dump site, like they were foaming at the mouth, like they could have bit the man, it don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. But this is the climate. This is what the folks that voted and did not vote, this is what you get. They feel entitled. Yeah, I'm telling them people put all their business up. Them people put all their business out there. They know they had that man's record. The man in Florida, they had his record. What he done did, I want to say he done did DV before. I don't know if it's to the woman he with now, but I think so. They put his whole record out there. His age, his address, everything. Everything. They put it out there. The internet, let me tell y'all something. If something ever happened, I'm gonna go around there to TikTok. Because they're going to solve the case. I ain't calling the FBI, DEA, CIA, the police, the sheriff, none of them people. TikTok. They're going to, I used to tell y'all that before, they're going to find out what they need to find out. And they put their business out there. Wright Brothers. Now, Wright Brothers, that's a construction company with the evil white men. They said they investigating. And they don't condone that type. You know the basic blanket statement. We don't condone this behavior. They convey that if they didn't condone it, if that behavior wasn't already present, they wouldn't have done that. That behavior is already present. They was too aggressive. Y'all already hate. I'm gonna tell y'all what they was. They was a Klan, as far as I'm concerned. They was a Klan. Because that kind of hate don't just happen like that. That been down in there. That was the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan. That's what that was. It was just at work without their robes and their hoods and shit on. That's what that was. Because, it's people seem to think that they have abolished the Klan. No, they just don't wear the hoods no more. That's all. They walking around here. They right next to you at the store. They everywhere. They the judge. They the police. And it's been said, the train of thought is, the reason why a lot of this goes on, because the man even said at the construction site he's going to call the sheriff, right? Well, the sheriff worked there. One of the sheriffs worked there. So we know how much investigating they're going to do, right? They done grew up with Billy Bob, Jimmy Jam, them. They know their parents, their grandparents. They go to the same church, right? So ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. But I would like to see some black civil rights leaders. Do we have any? And blow down on them, or some attorneys. I need some action to be taken. We can't, and I know we ain't supposed to march and we ain't supposed to do none of that. But some paperwork action can be taken. Some legal action needs to be taken. Whether something happened to them or not, the action needs to be taken. The action needs to be taken. Because y'all ain't going to just keep talking about calling us out our names and talking about you're going to hang somebody. Who going for that? Who going for that? But like I said, when I watched that, it just keep coming in my head. When I watched that Katrina catastrophe documentary, while those people were in desperate need of help, water, anything, they used the bathroom all outside, all in the dome, everywhere for a week. When they was trying to walk away and just walk to the next place, my daughter knows somebody. She has a friend. He walked to the next state. He walked. He was on the highway and he walked. He almost fell over in the water. Somebody helped and got him out. He walked as a very young man. Right now, listen. When the people were trying to walk away to get some help, go to another city, they were stopped by the National Guard, and then the National Guard didn't stop them. The white folks did. The hillbilly white folks with no teeth in their mouth, and they said, "We're gonna shoot them." Oh yeah, we're gonna shoot them, like it was a party. This is why Katrina was so horrible. Yes, we can't control the weather, but they didn't get them no help for a week. They didn't get no help for them people. They didn't give a damn. Now, the National Guard general or whatever he was, he said he cared and he had to go to Baton Rouge. See, what I understand is, so that was New Orleans. Why was the headquarters of the emergency in Baton Rouge? Y'all know how far that is from each other? Racism is what unalived all them people in Katrina, for the most part. They didn't get them no boats. They didn't get no buses, nothing to get them up out of there. They just made them sit in filth. I was also told, which I hadn't thought about this, and they didn't show this on the documentary, that the people that were in jail, they didn't unlock the jails. They just perished in water. That's inhumane. I don't care what they did. That you should let them out and catch them again later. So racism is the cause to a lot of things, right? And I'm sick of it. And I hope that never confronts me, right? I hope that never confronts me. I hope that never confronts me. Anyway, moving on, because I'm about to get upset, right? Woo! Moving on. Now, did y'all see the mail lady who had her kids in the mail truck only because they daddy would not pick them up from school or wherever he was supposed to pick them up from? So she put them in the truck, called her job and said, look here, I got to stop right now because somebody's going to come pick up my kids. I can't move further because I got my kids. She had 3 of them, right? The baby daddy, he come with his retarded brother, right? And they opened up the door. Now she was I guess she was doing something. She was down the street or something. She was running back because she said she was at the school, but she had to sit there because she couldn't move with the kids in the truck. She put them in the truck because there was air in there. He opened the door, right? Opened the door, called the police. Now the police thinking that she riding around delivering mail with the kids in the truck. They in there looking like refugees. If that wasn't an ego move, right? And now he has custody till they go to court August 15th, which is in a couple weeks, right? But once the judge see all this, she gonna get her kids back. And I hope he go to jail or get in trouble of some sort, right? He tried to get her to lose her job, but she had sense enough to call her job and forewarn them what she was doing. Had she not did that, then she'd have lost her job too. Why would you want all that much pain on a woman that's taking care of your kids? Because you don't want to pay child support. So you ain't taking care of them, but you're gonna stop her bag so she could take care of them. What kind of sense do that make? What kind of sense do that make? That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to cause her harm. Yeah. Hey, Yolanda. Yeah. He wanted to cause her harm. Now, as she said, I felt her because I'd have been in that situation. She said she don't even have a car because he followed. She don't want him to know what kind of car she got. He even followed her. Now, she got a new dude. And new dude probably just in the back supporting her, whatever. He don't want to go too far with it, right? But what's going to have to happen? Let me tell you, sis, because I've been there. You're going to have to let new dude loose on old dude. Period, point blank. You're going to have to let new dude, whether they have a man-to-man conversation or they have a hand-to-hand combat, you're going to have to let new dude take care of old dude because he's not going to stop. He ain't going to stop. All because he don't want to pay child support. And guess where the kid's at right now? With his mama. Why mama couldn't get the kids in the first place? He don't even want the kids. He don't want them. He want to just disturb her life. He want to be an earth disturber in her life. He don't want them kids. Because if he wanted, he would pay child support. Why do men think they should not pay child support? You had them. Why shouldn't they pay? And I tell women all the time. I got in trouble one time because I told somebody this. Their feelings was hurt or something. A man ain't never had a baby. So when you had that baby, that's yours. That is yours. If a man come along and handle his responsibilities, wonderful. But a man ain't never had a baby, right? As we can see that. That man would rather her get in trouble. He was at the school. You couldn't pick him up, but you came there to agitate. You came down there to aggravate her. Y'all, we are so unprotected. We the least unprotected folk out here, right? Women have to make better choices when it comes to choosing who they... Yeah, that's true. But a lot of times, and I can speak on that, they change. They change, right? I got 3 kids by 3 different men, 3 different times in my life. My kids is like 7 years apart. But they change. They change. You get sold a fairy tale. My oldest son's father, I'm going to college. He went to the service. We got a plan. We're going to come back out and get that picket fence. That nigga never did shit. And once I did not want to be bothered with it, he bothered me in college. I couldn't even go to school right. He bothered me. He essayed me. I got pregnant. Right? There's a whole thing to that. And people just think it's just that easy. Well, don't mess with them. They change. They change. Yes, you have to do a better job. But when you young, and this girl looked young. Now, this man was 42, so I don't know how old she was. And she had 3 kids. I don't know if the oldest one was his, but I think so. She was 13. People change. They tell you this, and then they lock you into this dream that they have, and then the dream turns into a nightmare. I don't know nobody that go into it like, he ain't shit, but I'm going to have a baby by him anyway. They change. They change. And the moment that you don't want to be bothered with him, they don't want to be bothered with the kids either. That's 9 times out of 10 how it works. If you ever see dudes, they got 3, 4 different, 5 different baby mamas, the one he's still having sex with, the one that allowed him to come over and have their way with him, that's them the kids he see about. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen it. The moment you stop having sex with them, they don't want to be bothered with you no more. That's real talk, right? So yeah, you do need to make better choices, but when you don't make a better choice, a man still has responsibilities, and it ain't to make you work harder to take care of our kids, right? This woman is a kid. She said she's been on her job 10 years. She been on her job 10 years. She got a new dude. The new dude was coming to get the kids. She didn't call the new dude to come get the kids. Here you is with your brother, big old raggedy brother. Y'all trying to earth disturb. I don't like that. I don't like that. But luckily, she still has her job. And when August 15th comes, she's going to get her kids back. Why you want the kids anyway? I bet you a dime to a bucket of ish. Mama got the kids. He ain't even been over there. He ain't cooking no meals. He ain't taking no baths. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't taking them nowhere. He ain't. I can tell y'all that. He ain't. His concern is what she doing. He want to mess up her day. He ain't doing nothing. Mama over there cooking fried chicken and making breakfast and pancakes and shit. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing. When you don't make a better choice, you have to live with the consequences. Yeah, all that's true. All that's true. We talking about what? All that's true. Make a better choice. But what about him? What you say for him? He tried to disrupt her livelihood. What you say about that? What you say about that, Hurricane? Is that Hurricane said that? What you say about that? We talking about her. We didn't talk about her. She made a bad choice. She made a very bad choice of a Negro. But what about him? What should he be doing better to better his life? What should he be doing? You know what I'm saying? I get tired of people always want to blame the woman, right? First of all, we're emotional creatures. So the first Negro to come and googie gaga you might be with them because that's what you're looking for. You missed that somewhere. Or maybe you just want that, right? And then they change right before your eyes. Soon as it's responsibility time, soon as you want to go off and do something. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, y'all. I can tell you story after story after story. Yeah, you need to make a better choice. Sometimes you think that is the better choice. You don't know till they change, till they take the sheet off. You don't know. You don't know. Each man I was with sold me a dream. Did that dream come true? Hell no. Hell no. No. And a lot of times what happens is men get jealous of you. Did you know that? Did y'all know that? Your mate can get jealous of you. And that ruins the whole everything. And they want to make you feel insecure. And the moment that you don't feel insecure, now it's a problem. They want to keep you beneath them. Instead of working as a partner, they in competition. See that all the time. All the time. And the moment that you ain't competing, then that's when they get to cheating and doing all that and trying to lower your self-esteem and all that stuff. I turn my ear on. And when you're young, it's hard to make a good decision. But when you're 40 and plus, you got to make them good decisions. You're right. But I just think that we need to quit blaming the mother and the woman. I teach my daughters emotional control. I teach them if he has to move on. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I talked about that today. You have to have emotional control. That's true. That is absolutely true. He was just raised wrong. That's a sickness. That's why I said I wanted like to know his mama, because he ran the kids right over there to his mammy. Right? If my sons, I got 2 sons. And they're good dudes, really they are. Especially to their mate. They're good dudes, right? But if they do something wrong, I tell them. Like, that wasn't right. I don't have to say that now because they're grown, good and grown. And they don't do nothing. Like, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My youngest son, who I'm staying with, his fiance got a promotion today. We didn't pray for that. She didn't try it out for a couple times. She got a promotion, right? He outside hustling, doing what he do. He said, Mom, I want you to go to the store with me because we got to go get a cake and get it rolled on, get some flowers and the balloons, right? He did all that. That's over there in the corner. So when she come home from work, then we're going to have a celebration. He's thoughtful. My boys are thoughtful, right? But you're right. You have to raise them like that. But even you can raise them and they still act out, though. They still act out. But my sons is the type of dudes I want to be with. Really. And I raised them by myself. Wasn't no help from no daddies. Actually, both of my sons have outmanned their fathers. Okay? But it's a lot of hard work. And it's hard. Being a single parent is hard. It's hard. Especially when you're trying to work, right? Especially when you're trying to work. You're trying to go to work. You're trying to make a living for them kids. And here you go with the foolishness. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Either you gonna help or go away. If you ain't gonna help, go away. Stay away. All that teaching emotional, all that's good. But when we're trying to solve a crisis right now, we need to solve that crisis right now. You know what I'm saying? We need to solve that right now. And we need to teach these men how not to be so sensitive, emotional, narcissistic, because the man is the head. It all starts with him. I don't care what nobody say. It does. Their behavior, our behavior depends on how they act. Treat us nice, we nice. You treat us bad, we bad. You the head of the house. If you're in the house and you causing all kind of havoc, that's what's going to be in your house. I'm just saying. That's biblical. What'd you say? Well, ex-husband, while we was married, he was the best dad, but once we divorced, he showed, once they don't have you, we divorced and he remarried before the ink was dry, and now she's complaining to his family about how he's changing. Yeah, that's what it is. It's oh well. Because, a lot of women, so for me, unless you went to some intensive therapy, however you was with her, that's probably how you're going to be with me. Now, I'm old enough to know that now. When you was younger, you don't think like that, right? But if you ain't went to some intensive therapy, taking some meds, some mood stabilizers or something, you still the same person. You say, stop calling me with them as... I know that's right. T said her grace is top tier because you got a good dude. Wait, what you say? You're bound to say you ain't supposed to remarry unless your spouse is unalive. Who told you that? Who said that? So if you divorce, you just don't get no more spouse. You ain't got no more coming, huh? Child, it's a two-way street. The sensitivity and emotion comes from their mothers raising them. Okay. All right. Listen. God wants you to be happy. I know that. So if Mr. Right come along and he make me happy, then that's what it is. And she said, ooh, unless he unalive, you can't get no another one. What you say? All right. Woo. I feel you. I feel you on that. That's in the Bible. That's probably in the Bible. Well, I missed over that part. That man's name, they doxed him too. The father, his name is Mandela. He got the nerve to be named Mandela. His name is Mandela Jones. He's 42 and they are out of Chicago. They had his birthday, everything. See, listen, you can't do no wrong these days. People gonna put you out there. The people gonna put it out there. And they gonna let the peoples handle you, right? They gonna, especially on TikTok. If they put it on TikTok, let's talk about TikTok, y'all. Let's talk did we talk about this already? It's been a couple days. But there's still a lot going on about it. the man who married, we did talk about it, but the man who married and the side piece thought he was coming back over there later on, right? I see a lot on it, right? And they saying that they think, a lot of people saying they believe that the side piece knew all along that he was getting married. And I kind of tend to believe that too, right? Because if you, that same friend that put up the wedding pictures, put up the engagement, the get-togethers, all the situations, all the fun times, right? And I think that she thought her poo-poo was the best and she could pull him from her. You know, I wouldn't think like that. She could get him. She could get him because she knowed him the longest. He only knowed the other lady, I want to say, 10 months? I don't know. Not that long, right? Plus the fact, some people are saying it's an arranged marriage. But do they still have arranged marriage in the United States? Do they still do that in the States? I don't know. I don't know. But I think, did y'all also see, hold on, let me go back. So, I'm going to switch over to politics now. So, I saw this, and don't know how true it is, but I saw this, that Texas will suspend homeless students. That made no sense to me. Did y'all see that? I want to say I seen that in Google or the news or something. A news report of some sort. Not on TikTok. I didn't see that on TikTok. That they're going to suspend homeless students. Now, how they going to know they're homeless? I don't know. But why would you suspend a homeless child? Like, they don't deserve education. They don't deserve a hot meal. Like, why would you suspend them? See, all this is that Project 2025 that y'all voted for. That's what this is. That's what this is. We're going to eliminate. We're going to make it hard. We're going to make it hard for you. Oh, you say some people in Africa still do? Yeah, they say they're gonna suspend the homeless kids. So where they supposed to go? They homeless. That might be the only time they get some. Somebody can pay them some attention. That's heartless. That's heartless. It is. It really is. Now wait a minute. So speaking of relationships, Drake finally filed for divorce from Kevin Gates, right? Like, I was watching somewhere, somebody said Kevin Gates is a warlock, right? Y'all do know we got witches and warlocks. Do y'all know that? I believe that. They don't got horns and all that. They spirits, right? And now she's by herself. She's a little isolated. I think she got a farm and I don't know if she's growing weed or she's growing something, right? On her farm, she just want to be free. And that's come to the direct result of that relationship with that man. I know he was in there crazy and around. See, he made the other girl, I don't know if he made her, but the other girl, Brittany, she turned Muslim. She ain't Muslim no more. She got back outside now. But I've watched men can make you absolutely crazy if you don't get a hold of it, right? And then after you've been in a situation like that, all you want is peace. And I think that's where Drake at. All she wants is peace. She want peace, right? I couldn't imagine being married to a Kevin Gates. Don't he got tattoos all over his face? Turn to God for guidance and be obedient. That's right. Women need to learn to say no and not open their legs. Men need to learn restraint and stop lusting. That is true. Y'all know what? Hey, how you doing? Hey, Michael, y'all know what I did? I went down a rabbit hole. I'm going to talk about it maybe tomorrow. I am tomorrow. So I've been seeing it, but I was busy doing what I'm doing. About Bishop Ellis out of Detroit, right? His side chick, for lack of a better word, exposed him. Now, supposedly this happened between 2002 and 2018. That's what she say. He say it was over 15 years ago. I don't know when it happened, right? But they've asked him to step down from his duties. He's still a pastor or a bishop or whatever you call it. But they've asked him to step down off the board or such. I went down a rabbit hole on it, right? Because I've been seeing it, but I wasn't quite, I was doing other stuff, right? But the wife is still with him, as she gonna be, right? And he said it happened a long time ago. So, him and his wife already talked about it. Now, the man is 67 now. But this is the thing. He got with her when she was 22 and he was 47. That's wrong right there. Even if he didn't have a wife, that's wrong right there. I don't understand men that like, for lack of a better word, little girls, right? Yeah, I know I'm a product of that, so that's why I speak boldly about it. In case y'all didn't know, Hurricane and new folks that's up in here. My daddy, he married my mama. He was 50 when I was conceived, and my mama was 17. Okay, I don't like that. I never knew him because he passed away by the time I was 3. Right, I just have little memories, a little bit. Right. I personally think when you have kids past a certain age, you do a disservice to your kids anyway because you're gonna be here. I think it's selfish. That's what I think. But that's my take on that. I got something in the oven, y'all. Hold on, let me check it. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I think you're selfish when you have kids like that. But anyway, I don't like that old man, young woman dynamic, right? And she was in the church. She was a part of the congregation. But what's even more weird, I guess it was the pastor's anniversary, something like that. The pastor's anniversary, they marching down, him and his wife, and then the kids march down. And the girlfriend was there filming it. Now, she showed some receipts. I don't know how she kept that for all them years. She showed some receipts and his name was on her bank statement. So I guess he was depositing money in her account. I don't know. Right? What I want to know, though, is why now? And she said the reason why now, because she want to help other young ladies. That's what she's on, doing the Lord's work, right? What I think is something happened. He might have told her, no, I don't want to bother you no more, or I ain't paying you no more, or whatever the situation was, and she exposed it, right? That's what I think. I hear people say that about who? Oh, but they applaud women and call them cougars. Yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. His wife, she was one of my directors when I was a Mary Kay consultant. His wife was, Chrisette. She ain't going nowhere. This is just the first time it got out. Really? Well, I figured that because somebody, the people were saying that even the girls hinted at it, that was what he used to do. See, he ain't doing it now because he's 67. He's 67. And they say that his daddy was the same way. I'm just kind of believing, I hate to be stereotypical like this, but, I've seen things in church. Y'all know I'm a church girl. I've seen things in church, right? And it always amazes me. And then people act like they don't see it, right? Now, I've never seen nothing with my pastor, but I've seen other people do things, right? But there were churches in Cleveland where the pastors were having extramarital affairs. And now one left. She finally left, but he had been doing it for years and years. He about that age too, might be 70. It still looks good though, right? And I want to say the girl got pregnant is the reason why she left. The young girl got pregnant. But they say he had been, messing with the folks in the church. See, when you're in church, let me tell y'all the climate in church. For y'all that don't go. Women in church are very thirsty. The first sign of a man that they ain't seen before, or he ain't attached to nobody, they own him like flies on ish, right? I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes, right? You got to be fast. You got to be a barracuda, right? Because when such and such walk through there and they scope him out and he ain't nobody, they might look at him a week or two and don't nobody come and sit with him, they own him. They own him. They own him. I've seen that with my own eyes. They own him, right? If he's a pastor, if he's an organ player. I've realized that some women just like the title of whatever their title is, right? Because, a lot of women get with gay men in there knowing that they gay. Or it's assumed by how they move, right? And just because they the director of this or the such and such of that, right? That's how church folk do. That's how church folk do. You know, I could go on and on about that, but that's how church folk do. You know, they act like they don't see nothing. Praise the Lord. Amen. Right? You know, that's how they do, right? Because, you know, the church is a hospital. It's a place where folks try to get well. So it's supposedly not any judgment. But I just think that those sexcapades that go on is wrong. Especially if it's with a man of God. And, you know, a lot of people revere their pastor like he is God, right? So it can be cult-like. It can be cult-like. You know what I'm saying? It was a church. They might have them all over the country, but it was one in Cincinnati. What was it called? Not Cincinnati, Charlotte. With a pastor. Ooh, what was the name of that church? I got to look it up. But I went past there. They got a couple of buildings. I think it's National. What was the name of that church? Oh, what was the name of the church? Anyway, they act like the pastor was a guy. You know, he sat up on a chair. They had people fanning. You know, it was a sight to see. I seen it on YouTube. And I remember when I first got to Charlotte, I asked this girl I work with, like, I always ask people what church you go to because I'm looking for a church and da. And she told me, so I looked it up. And I thought it was a bit strange. They called him Father or something. I can't remember the name of that church. What was the name of that church? It seemed like they had lions on the outside of it or something. Once I rode past it and saw it, right? But you don't want a church that's cultish. You don't want not me, a church where the pastor is a philanderer. Is that the right word? Well, he messing with everybody. You know, and if he's single, like my pastor was single, but he was like he would never date nobody in the church, in that church. You know what I'm saying? But that didn't stop him from hugging on him, kissing on him, bringing him food and dinners and inviting him over. You know, just doing all kind of stuff, right? Yeah, it could be wild in church. It could be wild. If you pay attention, it could be wild. It really can. And I'm from a Baptist church. I heard the Kojic is even worse. I don't know. But I heard today even worse, right? But it could be wild. It could be wild, especially when folks are single, and especially if the pastor looks good. That's why Jamal Bryant kept getting in trouble, right? He's a nice looking man. He speaks well, and so he's attractive. If you're a church lady, that's attractive to you, right? And he couldn't resist. Like Hurricane said, you got to be able to, your loins, you got to be able to stop lusting. And everybody can't yield to the temptation. You know, that's be the problem. They can't yield to the temptation, right? But as a woman, even though she was young, a woman that gets with a married man has to know he's not leaving. I don't care what he tells you, he's not going to leave. The woman has to leave. He's not going to leave. He is not going to leave. I don't care what they tell you, they're not going to leave. They will mess with you forever. I told you I know two people right now been messing around for over 20, 30 years. They just not going to leave. They're not going to leave their wife. They set up over there. You the extra. They're not going to leave. You know what I'm saying? They're not. It's just what it is. But I've got to find out. You find nothing attractive. Hey, Denise, you know, back in the day, when he used to wear the big ties, y'all remember that? I thought he was attractive. I didn't know he was short for years before I knew he was a short dude, right? But you know, it's his presence. You know, not so. He look all right to me physically, but you know, a lot of it has to do with his presence. You know, the way he speak and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I can imagine if you're a woman and you're young and you looking at him every Sunday. You know, I don't know, because me personally, I would not mess with a pastor, minister, reverend, organist, minister of music. I wouldn't mess with nobody because that would disturb my church, especially if it was at my church. That would be too distracting for me, right? Yeah, that would be too distracting for me. I wouldn't mess with nobody that. And generally in church, you know, it ain't just the pickings ain't. Because if you see a dude in church, 9 times out of 10, if he's a church's woman in there somewhere, she the usher, she in the choir, she down in the basement cooking, she's somewhere. Very rarely are they just at home. Very rarely. It happens, but not that much, right? That he at church and his wife ain't. And if he coming in there, a lot of dudes are predators. Y'all know that, right? A lot of times, I watch that at my church too. Dudes come in off the street or wherever they come from. I shouldn't say off the street. But they come in, and they come in for that sole purpose. I watched a dude at my church, that came to my church, and I knew him because I went to school with him. I didn't know him well, but I knew of him. I watched him destroy this lady's life. She was a church girl. See, a lot of times church girls, see, I'm a street girl / church girl, right? She didn't see it coming, right? He destroyed her. He destroyed her. She all right now, but he destroyed her. She had to move, lost her house, he just destroyed her. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes come in to church because they know that's where the good girl's at, and they coming in there to get them a good girl. They part-time homeless or whatever it is, they can get a meal, get a place to live, sex. That's what they do. There's a lot of dudes that's predatory like that with church girls. You know what I'm saying? And so the same things happens with the pastor. They looking out there, they see who is vulnerable. You know, that's what my daddy did to my mama. She was a girl going to church. She just tried to go to church, bless her heart. She just wanted to go to church. She going to church every day, every Sunday. He plucked her right up out the congregation. You know what I'm saying? He was a grown man. You see that girl walking with her Bible, going to church. You know, I never knew him, but I'd like to have a talk with him when I get to heaven, if he in there. Like, why'd you do that? Because he messed us up. He messed us up. He messed her up. He messed us up. People pick churches for the wrong reason. Ask God where he wants you at. 99% of people don't do this. Yep, you're right. Oh, yeah, I remember Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike, was he the one selling the cloths, the red cloths? That foster lady I lived with was a Reverend Ike fan. Daddy Grace. Is that was his name? Was that his name, the one? United House of Prayer. That sure is what it is. I thought they were national. You're right. United House of Prayer. It started in D.C. and expanded. That sure is what it was called. United House of Prayer. Sure was. That's not church, folks. Those are just people in a building. Real church people addressing the issues and intercede for the issues if someone sees an issue in church. That's right. Daddy Grace, did he have long fingernails? Ugh. That's creepy. That's what we call him in Charlotte, North Carolina. Daddy Grace. That was his name. That was the church. That was the church. And you know, what's the girl told me? Because when people tell me about the church, I Google it, then I YouTube it, see how the choir singing, what the order of service is. You know, I don't just step off in there, right? Like if somebody tell me about a church or I see a church, if I can't get no information on it online, I don't go to it because I don't know what was in there, right? And when I saw that at the United House of Prayer, I had told one of my friends. She was like, "You don't want to go there," because what threw me off and made me really look was I said, "What day do they you know?" Because I'm a Baptist and we baptize on the first Sunday, right? And something I asked her about baptizing, she said, "Oh, we don't do that." I was like, "What? Y'all don't do that, right?" And so when I looked it up, I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life, right? And I want to say they got it's one in Cleveland, I think. I ain't sure. It's one something like that. Because the church, I don't know if the church is called that in Cleveland, but it was a church something like that, where the chair that the pastor sat in when he passed, they kept the chair right there with plastic over. That's what I heard. I ain't never been in there, right? But they kept the chair right there, and that was a sacred area, right? Listen, churches can be cult-like. That's what it's called, United House of Prayer. I got to looking into that. I was like, oh, they weird. Oh, they weird. Oh, you went to high school? They would fight over people not. What? Hey, Angel. Girl, we talking about the United House of Prayer. They one of the only churches that will still provide hot meals, though. Their food is good. Is their food good? You know what? I got some food from United House of Prayer in Charlotte. I just thought about that. I didn't go inside. You know, I went. My friend, he lived in Columbia. He told me all the restaurants before I got to Charlotte. And one Sunday, before the pandemic, I had moved there already, I think. And I went around the back. See, I didn't even see the front because I went the back way. That was United House of Prayer. I got that food from, and it was good. That sure was. Y'all know I've been trying to think of the name of that church. I tried to think of the name of that church for the last 2 years when I came back from Atlanta. I could not think of the name of that church. I just remembered what it looked like, and I went around the back. It's a parking lot. So I never saw the front of the church, because when you get off the highway, it's the back of the church, right? That was United House of Prayer. I've been trying to think of that church for the last 2 years, because I wanted to go on a Sunday. You got to go early, because it'll be gone. Child, what you say? Yep, the food was good. The food was good. Good. All their churches have a cafeteria. Oh, really? That was United House of Prayer. And I knew it was a church. I just couldn't think of the name of that church. Y'all, I thought I tried to think of that name for about 18 months. I could not think of the name of that church. That's what it was, United House of Prayer. And they all dress alike. Do they all dress the same or something? They real, what's the word I want to say? And they ain't got no razzle-dazzle to them. They ain't razzle-dazzly. They ain't razzle-dazzly. If I can recall the way they look like probably one step away from Amish or some shit. I don't remember, but yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Ooh, look them up, Neat. House of Prayer. They got videos of them. Look it up. They worship that man, and then they got a new man. That's what made me look him up, because the new man, when I was in Charlotte, the new pastor they just had installed him or whatever they do, right? And it was a big to do. It was a big to do. And you know, the nurse would come and fan the pastor, wipe him down and all that. They had, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to lie, but it seemed like they had palms. And they would stand there all day, the whole service, the two girls on this side and two on that side. I'm telling you, it was the weirdest shit I'd ever seen, right? I was like, oh no, I can't go there. Ain't going there. I never did see that girl no more either at the job. I never did see her no more. Yeah. Ooh, it's holiness. Is it holiness? Yeah, I think it is. Child. Yeah, you got to be careful. I like your hurricanes. I have to know about it, because I had a bad experience when I was a little young. You know, I went to a church with this guy, and he said, you want to go over here? And went over there, child. And they was touching the people, and they was passing out. Shit, I don't want to. Don't touch me. Right? And he made everybody stand up. Shit, and when I looked at the doors, it looked like they was guarding the doors, and that could have just been my imagination, right? I was like, if it don't say such and such Baptist or so and so AME, or they don't state who they are, such and such Pentecostal, I don't just walk in, come into the woods church. I don't just, the name got to be representing something or something out the Bible. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go because my food is out the oven. That just cracked me up. That was the name of that church. Ooh. Look them up, y'all. For y'all that ain't never seen them, Google them. YouTube them. And you'll see all the foolishness, and we'll come back and discuss. Woo! I'll see y'all later. I'm getting ready to eat my food. I almost forgot my food was hot over here. I'll see y'all tomorrow, Jack Squad. Ooh, Lord.